This was a marriage of business convenience. Nicola Sturgeon had serious ambitions to lead the SNP. Peter Murrell was the guy with all of the power within that organisation. And what so often happens is when someone has a fall from grace, a relationship which actually isn't anchored in love because it was anchored in power and ambition, has fallen apart. Breaking right now, Scheming Sturgeon gets more ruthless by the day. The former and the failed Scottish First Minister has now dumped her husband, Peter Murrell. She doesn't need him anymore. He has, of course, been charged in the SNP's so-called missing millions investigation. Sturgeon herself arrested and released, but remains under investigation. So today comes the bombshell Instagram story where she writes, "Personal. With a heavy heart, I am confirming that Peter and I have decided to end our marriage. To all intents and purposes, we have been separated for some time now, and I feel it is time to bring others up to speed with where we are. It goes without saying that we still care deeply for each other and always will. We will be making no further comment." But I think maybe Leo Kirsch summed this up best with his post on X. Nicola Sturgeon officially split from Peter Murrell, but the sexual chemistry between them was so palpable. Because come on, Howard Cox, we've known for some time. This was a marriage of business convenience. Nicola Sturgeon had serious ambitions to lead the SNP. Peter Murrell was the guy with all of the power within that organisation. And what so often happens is when someone has a fall from grace, a relationship which actually isn't anchored in love because it was anchored in power and ambition, has fallen apart.
You're right, but I have actually got a grudging respect for Nicola Sturgeon. I think she's a consummate politician, incredibly clever, very good. In fact, she was very supportive of my campaign, Fair Fuel UK. And down in Westminster, when they had about 50 odd MPs down there, she instructed and worked with Alex Salmond, even though they didn't talk to each other of recent times when he set up Alba. But they actually got all of the MPs to go out onto Parliament Square and be photographed with me and say, yes, we support the motorist. I can't imagine Lib Dems or even Labour doing that sort of thing. So I've got a grudging respect. But the big thing is, where's the £600,000 worth of donations gone? That's still, and they haven't been charged. He was arrested, but both of them haven't been charged. Where has that £600,000?
Well, he has been charged. She hasn't. She's been released, still under formal investigation. And clearly, she hopes there is a second act for her political career. She hopes that this will be a case of the husband taking the rap. Now, of course, we don't know what happened, and there are, because I'm always transparent with my audience about these things, there are really, really strict and strident contempt of court laws in Scotland, which make talking about this case virtually impossible, which is ridiculous, by the way, because you've been investigating this thing for years. Get on with it. But I think Sturgeon does think she has a second act in her political career. However, she will stoop super low, Howard. She will stoop super low. Because did you see this interview that she gave to the FT over the weekend, where she decided just weeks after the death of Alex Salmond, a guy who she fully admits was her political mentor, was her best mate for years and years and years, she decided a few weeks after his death to throw the guy under the bus. So during this interview, she claimed that Mr. Salmond could be really, really rough on people and that she had to step in many times to stop him. Now, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But the point is, you really caused huge stress to this guy. You tried to destroy him in court. You failed because he was completely exonerated. He is now dead. What on earth are you doing, Sturgeon? And this prompted Alex Salmond's widow, who very much does not speak out often. She's a private woman, 87 years old, to make a rare public statement saying that she is still grieving for her husband and the recent attacks on him come from people who, quote, seem determined to damage her reputation even in death. Mrs. Salmon added, "It is difficult for us to understand what motivates those interventions, especially when such comments are made in the knowledge that Alex cannot defend himself as he would certainly have done. Those attacking him must know that the law does not allow us, his family, to protect his reputation from being defamed now that he is gone." And I just thought, Howard Cox, I mean, number one, who is she to attack someone else for their behavior at work when she remains under police investigation? But didn't you just think, given her weasel words after his death, that this was a particularly low and unnecessary blow?
Absolutely disgusting. I wasn't fully aware of that, Dan, and now I've seen that and seen the response from Mrs. Salmon. I mean, I've worked on various panel shows and I've worked in politics, lobbying and Alex Salmon, and he's been nothing but fun to be with, incredible person to be with. He's hugely funny to be with, and I've had nothing but good about him. And when he was having those problems, in court, etc., like that, I was surprised. But to see him suddenly die like that, I was genuinely choked. And I was with actually some media people who knew him quite well as well. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. He's a good guy.
I just find, Howard, these former SNP leaders who are desperately now trying to create media careers beyond despicable, given what they have caused to the great nation of Scotland, given the complete destruction that they have left the country in. And as if Scheming Sturgeon isn't bad enough, we now have Humza Useless, who was by far the worst First Minister in the history of Scotland, a racist guy, by the way, because he is very anti-white people. We'll remember that famous white video. And he is now trying to turn himself, Howard, you're not going to believe this, into some type of social media influencer, like a Scottish version of Owen Jones, believe it or not. And he's released a video to launch his career attacking Elon Musk. Let's watch this together and I'll get your response after.
Good luck with that.
But first, we've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you. Would you believe me if I told you inside your pantry right now is one of the healthiest foods on the planet? Yep, it's true. And it's not some weird trendy superfood. Spoiler alert, it's olive oil. You've probably cooked with it, I imagine. But do you know there are countless ways to use olive oil to help yourself look and feel younger? For example, olive oil is a natural way to help you achieve a more youthful appearance. Besides helping you look younger on the outside, it's a fantastic tool for your insides as well. According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, you should get as much high-quality olive oil into your daily routine as possible, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. But what kind of olive oil is best for your health? Well, any olive oil can give you some benefits, but if you're looking to get the best results, it matters a lot which one you pick. The olive oil industry is huge. You can tell by the number of olive oil brands you see at the grocery store, and you can bet they're not all made with the consumer in mind, and many brands may even cut corners one way or another to increase profits. When Dr. Gundry came to this realization, he was appalled. But some olive oils are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see these incredible health benefits. So how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and which one isn't up to par? In an effort to answer that question, Dr. Gundry has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings. This video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it so you can start benefiting immediately. You can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/outspoken or by clicking the link in the description box below. That's getolive1.com/outspoken or just click on the link in the description box below. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning his simple rules have helped change their lives. So make sure you go to getolive1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below this video. But now, back to the show.
Elon Musk needs to be stopped. This isn't just about one tweet or one individual. It's about a pattern that we are seeing globally. Powerful individuals with massive platforms are amplifying harmful rhetoric. They're normalizing prejudice, and all to create division through the spread of disinformation. Last summer, after he fanned the flames of racial intolerance here in the UK, I warned that Elon Musk was one of the most dangerous men on the planet. Everything that he has done since then has only reinforced that view. Not only has he used his vast billions to muscle his way into the White House, he's now attempting to subvert democracy by trying to overthrow the democratically elected Prime Minister of the UK. But what's motivating Musk? Worryingly, it's his far-right sympathies, driven by anti-Muslim hatred, that seem to be the driving force for the world's wealthiest man. He supports Tommy Robinson, a man who's called Islam a violent fascist ideology.
Howard Cox, your response to Humza Yousaf, the influencer.
You couldn't write that, could you? I mean, you couldn't invent that. It's pathetic. I mean, if it wasn't for Elon Musk, we wouldn't be talking much about Tommy Robinson. We wouldn't have free speech, all those sorts of things. I do believe that he shouldn't be involved in dictating who leads parties. I'm sorry, I do agree with that. But in terms of actually influencing actually what happens here, I've got no problem with that whatsoever. And I understand Dominic Cummings doesn't mind either.
And the thing is, that guy, Humza Yousaf, is the biggest hypocrite ever. Because he's talking about spreading racial intolerance when he has done just that with his anti-white racism campaign in Scotland. And then he's talking about subverting democracy. Well, this is the bloke who did not accept 2 major referendum results, did not accept the once-in-a-generation vote for Scotland to remain part of the United Kingdom, and did not accept the once-in-a-lifetime vote for the UK to leave the European Union. So he would have subverted 2 of the most important democratic votes in recent UK history.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. You've got these substandard politicians now coming out post their career that has gone down into the dustbin. They've come out now thinking that people are going to listen to them and take on board what they're saying. It's nothing to do with them now. You stay out of it. Elon Musk has got a platform, and let's face it, Donald Trump is going. I'm looking forward to him going in there, sorting out the fact that the expenditure and in getting efficiency moving, all that sort of thing. We need an Elon Musk on our civil service in this country, but that will never happen. And that's one thing we must remember. Reform UK, which is one reason why I signed up to them. They want to get rid of £5 out of every £100 spent on the state. So, this guy, I never really took much notice of him. And I go back to my point about, Alex Salmond. He was a rare person. He was a statesman-like politician, in my opinion. Whereas people like him, Yousaf, well, forget it. I've forgotten about him already.
Well, do you know what? I think I'm going to have quite a bit of fun, actually, with Humza Useless becoming a left-wing influencer. I'm rubbing my hands with glee, just like I'm rubbing my hands with glee to see Scheming Sturgeon, having ruined Scotland, try and re-enter the political domain. But Howard Cox of the Fair Fuel campaign, formerly of Reform UK, so brilliant to have you here live today on Outspoken, and please come back very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go wherever you are.